Welcome all. Let's look into the Land Acquisition Act. Land. It's more than just a piece of soil. It's identity, inheritance, and a canvas every plan, nation tries to draw, be it road, metro, or industrial corridor. What exactly is this land acquisition? The union or the state government in India acquires private land for the purpose of industrialization, development of infrastructure facilities, or urbanization of private land, and provides compensation to the affected landowners for the rehabilitation and resettlement. So, where exactly it started? It started in the 1894 in the British colonial period, where the private land is used for the public purpose with the minimum procedural safeguards, compensation, and rehabilitation. After the independence, the country undertook large public works and industrial projects. Later, the parliament to replace the colonial law with the modern statute due to rising civil protests, judicial interventions, and policy debate in the early 21st century. Replacing the Colonial Act, Right to Fair Compensation and Transparency in Land Acquisition, Rehabilitation and Resettlement Act 2013 to create more participative, transformative, and evolution of this act starts with the British Parliament enacting the Land Acquisition Act in 1894. Moving on with the definitions in which the act defines the public purpose. Compensation is based largely on the market value with limited recourse of displaced persons. And then moving on with the 1947, after the independence, the act was retained by the independent India. In the early 2000s and 2010, the act lacked rehabilitation, weak notions of consent, and potential for misuse. So the parliament passes this act, which was enforced in 27 September 2013 with strong definitions, affected families, explicit rehabilitation entitlements. It also speaks about the public-private projects. Later, the act was then amended in 2015, which includes several categories to reduce the consent requirements. Then, the Department of the Land Resource under Rural Development Ministry implements this act. The main objectives to ensure fair and just compensation to the landowners, to the affected family, with calculated transparently, making acquisition participative and informed by mandating SIAs, public hearings and local language notifications, and then the guaranteed rehabilitation and resettlement of housing, employment assistance and other benefits for involuntary displaced persons, reduce the misuse of acquisition, and then extends to the whole of India except for the Jammu and Kashmir region. And in section 22, it defines the public purpose, landowner, affected family, clarifying the persons entitled to compensation and R&R benefits. And then the social impact assessments in section 4 to 6A, public hearings, local language notifications, expert reviews, panels based on that. And then the food security protections, which is based on the multi-crop land, to protect the multi-crop land, and the consent thresholds, like the consent of the affected landowners is mandated for the public-private partnership and public person projects. Then moving on with it about the act, compensation and salarium. It is based on the market-linked compensation, additional percentage over market value, and the interest for delayed payment mechanisms appointed among multiple claimants. Institutional grievances readdressal were also looked into picture. States that used the act in the 2013 act was like Tamil Nadu, which was first adopted its own rules and created the Land Acquisition Act Agency of Tamil Nadu. However, also uses older state laws like Highway Transportation Act for faster process. The other states which were into these Land Acquisition Act is Chandigarh first actively returned land to the farmers under the 2013 Act, and then Odisha and Punjab successful in its acquisitions, and then Gujarat, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand. We also have other states like Uttar Pradesh, Assam, West Bengal slower to adopt and report to land acquisition so far. So first case example is Chennai Metro urban land acquisition and the SIA practice. So required multiple land parcels in a dense urban setting. The SIS and resettlement planning were critical to address loss of livelihood, ensure station area continuity for the betterment of the project. So as to get into the encroachments, provide fair compensations, look into the social impact assessment were done in this particular project, and then the Dwarka Expressway in Delhi and Gugan peri-urban area. So this area where the land is acquired, um, the encroachments are removed, provided fair compensation is another good example for a successful project implementation. Then the challenges in which like the institutional and capacity coordinations are the major challenges. It should have a strong coordination between institutions. Um Later, the valuation disputes in delayed payments and in the SIA quality and the timelines are all the major challenges, along with the political and legal contestations, interjurisdictional frictions are also other major challenges. For this, there are many lags and which needs improvement in specific areas like the professional SIA units, which reduces the disputes and improves the transparency, and then modernize the land records, uh, strengthen the timely compensation delivery, expand the rehabilitations to the informal settlements, modernizing in the sense digitalizing the data which for the better future, so that everything is recorded. In conclusion, this land acquisition acts provides a paradigm shift from the 1894 till the 2013 act. There has been a lot of changes. um, like in the beginning it was like so crucial and treating it was like so unruly. People had the opportunity to acquire poor people's land without their permission or willingness. Now it has been legalized and therefore concluded. Thank you.